Hey guys, Laura Kuenssberg is probably feeling a little bit down after her party's defeat, but the tough job of questioning politicians never stops, and neither do the Bills, clearly. The BBC journalist recently sat down with the Prime Minister Keir Starmer to talk about the riots and the people involved. She asked some pretty questionable things, but Starmer didn't brush them off. He gave them a solid response, one you would expect to hear from GB News. Here's the video.
Well, with the disorder, you said you wanted everybody in court within a week. You know, you are the Prime Minister now. Some people would want you to hear you say, you know what, in a year, everybody will be safe. In 2 years, everybody will be safe. What's your ambition on this? Because for years, people, victims of Grenfell, their families, and people who are in unsafe blocks have heard politicians for years promise that they were going to speed it up, promise that they were going to accelerate it. It's exactly the kind of frustration that you yourself say you've heard and you understand. And yet here you are today, unable to give them a firm promise.
Well, I'm not going to give a false promise. I think there have been too many of those in the last 14 years where people have given numbers and dates which they've plucked from the sky, which are not meaningful. I'm not going to do that. I know that the work is going on to identify what blocks need work on, how we accelerate it. The money has been allocated. A lot of this now is identifying and pushing those who are really responsible to do this, to do the work that they are required to do. If we need more powers to do that, we'll pass those powers.
Would you like to see people in jail because of what happened at Grenfell?
The last thing I want to do is to prejudice any possible cases. Of course, I want the police to complete their investigations and we'll give them all the support that they need. And appropriate cases should go through to court. But the worst thing I could do, or anybody could do, for the families of the bereaved, the survivors, the community, the worst thing we could do is to say or do anything which would prejudice the outcome of any proceedings, including criminal proceedings.
Laura asked, do you think rioters were racists? Starmer replied that he believed that there was racism involved, particularly in far-right elements, and that it varied across the country. He highlighted his visit to Belfast, where petrol bombs were thrown at the police, confirming that racism was definitely present. However, Starmer was clear that such behaviour is completely unacceptable, no matter the issue. He emphasised that the government's policy wouldn't change as a result of violence, no matter how strongly people feel about topics like immigration. Laura then asked, do you think we are a racist country? Starmer responded, no, I don't think we're a racist country, just some of you. I think we're a country of decent, tolerant people. He praised the real face of Britain, those who came out to clean up after the riots in Southport, not the racists who caused destruction or the ones inciting violence online. Well said, right? Well, that's the true Britain, the people who helped clean up, not the ones trying to burn down asylum centres or spreading hate on social media. Starmer made an excellent point, which we should duly note. Every country has racists and bigots, but it's how we deal with them that matters, and that includes tackling not only the people causing harm, but also those who fuel it through misinformation, both online and in the mainstream media. Starmer also mentioned his experience in Belfast, where he witnessed similar violence. He pointed out the far-right English nationalism at play, particularly in England and Northern Ireland, due to connections with loyalist paramilitaries. Meanwhile, riots didn't break out in Scotland or Wales, showing the influence of English nationalism in these events. It was in England, misinformation, such as claims that the killer was Muslim, was a major factor in stirring up the unrest. Starmer is right. We do need to address racism, but we also need to focus on those who incite it. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. As always, I've been Jake from Just Jake, and as always, make love, not war, because don't be one of those racist people who set fire to our holiday inns. You actually made it to the end of the video. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, which, why haven't you already, is somewhere over there. And also, if you want to watch more videos, also check out over there. I've been Jake from Just Jake. See you later.